The broadcast is now starting.
All right, I have 11 o'clock here in Wakefield. We'll go ahead and get started here with our morning briefing. My name is Sam here at the National Weather Service office in Wakefield. Just going to cover here the weather through the weekend into the at least most of next week. So in terms of our highlights and what we're expecting through the weekend here, at least for today, mainly just showers for southern part of the area with the low pressure kind of meandering to our south, and it'll eventually kind of kick up along the coast later today and tonight. But like I said, just some showers with that. The rain totals kind of have come down from what we were seeing yesterday, so really just kind of expecting up to around a half an inch possible for far southern Virginia, northeast North Carolina. Could have a few lingering showers into Friday, but generally looks on the drier side Friday, and then we do become more unsettled for the weekend with scattered numerous showers and storms both Saturday and Sunday afternoons into the evening. And then with those storms, especially Saturday and Sunday, a few of them could be strong to severe, just with some mainly just damaging winds are our main concern with that. And then I will get into the marine stuff towards the end of the presentation here. But in terms of our weather pattern, again, I mentioned we have that low to our south, which is kind of kicking up some moisture up north, towards our area. And that's really just going to produce showers for the southern part of the area. So mainly probably Richmond points north will stay mostly dry today. And then into Friday, that low, kind of meanders along the coast, but, most of the moisture will be kind of kicked out and be dry for most of the day with, perhaps a late day isolated storm sneaking in across the Piedmont. But again, drier Friday. And then for the weekend, we have this cold front that moves in from the northwest, which likely kicks off showers and storms during the afternoon and evening Saturday. And then kind of the change to the forecast has been that Sunday now looks wetter with showers and storms as well with that front. Instead of pushing south of the area, it stalls in the vicinity of the area. And then as of now, looking drier for Monday, and then beyond Monday, perhaps returning to a unsettled pattern with, again, afternoon and evening thunderstorms. So for our severe storm potential, so today there could be an isolated storm in North Carolina, but nothing severe. Similar for Friday. Again, I mentioned could have a very isolated, stronger storm that sneaks in across the very far west, but not expecting anything significant Friday. And then it's really Saturday into Sunday where we have at least some chance for some stronger storms with the building heat and humidity. The main threat really just looks like damaging wind gusts with perhaps some small to isolated large hail. So in terms of that Saturday storm chance here, really looking like the most likely timing would be 2 to 10 p.m. Storms will move from west to east, and generally moderate confidence with the forecast on Saturday. And then we are also outlooked a slightly higher outlook on Sunday for severe weather, which again, it's 4 days out, so timing is a little, at least specific timing down to the hour is a little difficult at this time. But again, it looks like afternoon into the evening for at least the stronger storms. And then, as mentioned here, we do have moderate confidence that it happens in the afternoon, but lower confidence, considering it's 4 days out on the coverage and the intensity. But just something to keep an eye on. In terms of timing rainfall for today, I guess, this is from excluding today, so from Friday into the weekend. So again, mainly dry Friday, some very low chances across the northwest. But as we get into Saturday, mainly after 3 p.m. is when we have a 50 to 60% chance of afternoon showers and storms, and then similar for Sunday. And then for the thunder, does look like pretty decent thunderstorm chances both Saturday and Sunday afternoon and evening, as I was mentioning earlier. Here's just a quick specific kind of timing graphic. This is down near Norfolk for the weekend, but generally applies to most areas, and that we have again a pretty good chance for rain for the weekend, and then really the best thunderstorm timing would be in the later afternoon into the evening. In terms of total rainfall next 3 days, again, we could pick up a few tenths of an inch in northeast North Carolina, southern Virginia today into this afternoon. And then not much rain tomorrow for Friday. And then with those scattered and numerous storms on Saturday, when we could, again, pick up a pretty good, at least, maybe up to a half an inch over the large portion of the area, with, of course, heavier amounts possible for the areas that do see the heavier storms. And then, with the clouds around today, we are probably pretty close to average for June, and then we do warm up to above normal for Friday and especially Saturday. When we have mid to upper 80s, and then the 80s generally persist into the beginning of next week, and looks pretty warm for the foreseeable future. So we do have, in terms of the rip current forecasts for the next 2 days, we do have a low risk today, so pretty low, pretty calm ocean with 1 to 2 foot waves, and then we do have a moderate risk on Friday with the near shore waves building to 2 to 4 feet. That's just because we have that low, some enhanced onshore flow from the east, so that could kick up the surf, and we have some concern for some rip currents. But then once that low kicks northeast of the area, we do return back to a low risk. At least that's what it looks like now for the weekend. And again, I was talking about that low pressure system earlier in the week. It was outlooked as having a very low chance of developing some tropical characteristics, but generally with the low staying inland now, any very low chance has diminished to no chance at all. So again, overall, there's no significant impacts from that low. Looking ahead to next week and beyond, again, as I kind of alluded to, we do stay warm, so generally above normal temperatures favored into next week, and then near to above normal precipitation. And then shifting gears a little bit here to the marine side, also generally remaining sub small craft advisories for the next 3 days here, with that low. Again, not looking too strong. The probabilities of small craft conditions, at least in terms of the winds, are rather low for the area, and then there's pretty much no chances for anything higher than that. And then looking ahead to Friday, with that low passing offshore, there could be some seas that kick up to around 5 feet, which could necessitate some advisories for the northern coastal zones. But for the bay, it also could get gusty, a few gusts to 15 to 20 knots. But again, generally remaining in that sub-advisory range. And then, so for today, those south to southeast winds increased to 10 to 15 knots, a few gusts to 20 knots for most of our sites here, and that persists into Friday. And then with the waves and seas here, generally 1 to 3 feet in the bay and 3 to 5 feet um, here on the ocean. And that's really all I have weather-wise. I mean, I'll just kind of bring over the satellite image here just to take a look at the current weather again. Some decent clouds streaming across the area, which will kind of keep our temps on the cooler side compared to tomorrow and the weekend. But yeah, so that's all I have. Specific information here. So if there's any questions, I can take those. If not, thank you.